My name is Maya Patel. I'm 32 years old. 3 years ago, I drove 4 hours to a beach resort in Delaware for what was supposed to be a week-long family vacation. My mother had planned the whole trip. Oceanfront suite, family dinners, her Instagram perfect vision of family bonding. When I arrived at check-in, the desk clerk looked confused. "I'm sorry, we only have 2 rooms reserved under Patel, a 2-bedroom suite and a single king." My mother, standing right there, said, "Oh, I must have forgotten to book Maya a room. There's probably a couch in Priya's room she can use." My sister Priya smiled and said, "Or maybe it's a sign. Maybe you shouldn't have come. You're always so busy with your nursing job anyway. This vacation is for successful people." I stood there in that hotel lobby, suitcase in hand, looking at my mother who'd forgotten me, my sister who'd just called me a failure. And I smiled. I said, "You know what? You're right. Enjoy your vacation." I turned around, walked out, got in my car, and drove away. 3 hours later, my phone wouldn't stop ringing, because apparently my mother had forgotten something else. She'd forgotten who'd actually paid for the vacation, all $4,800 of it, on my credit card. And I'd just called the resort and canceled everything. Before I tell you what happened when they finally reached me, let me take you back to my childhood and the moment I realized I was the understudy in my own family. Before I go any further, if this story resonates with you, please like and subscribe. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I want to know I'm not alone in this. I was born in 1995 in Edison, New Jersey. My sister Priya was born in 1990, 5 years before me. We grew up in a modest 3-bedroom house in a neighborhood full of other Indian American families, navigating the balance between traditional expectations and American life. My father, Rajesh Patel, was an accountant at a mid-sized firm. Steady, reliable, made decent money. My mother, Kavita, was a stay-at-home mom who spent her days managing the household, attending community events, and comparing our family to every other family she knew. From the beginning, the roles were clear. Priya was the golden child, beautiful, outgoing, everything my mother had dreamed of. I was the serious one, the quiet one, the one who didn't need much attention because I didn't demand it. I have a memory from when I was 7 years old. It was Priya's 12th birthday. My mother threw a party with 50 guests, a catered buffet, a professional photographer, and a cake that cost more than our monthly grocery bill. The living room was decorated like something out of a Bollywood movie. Priya wore a new outfit my mother had bought specifically for the photos. My birthday that same year was a family dinner at home with a store-bought cake from ShopRite, no guests, no photographer, no new outfit. When I asked why my party was different, my mother said, "Priya is older. She has more friends. You understand, right?" I was 7. I didn't understand. But I nodded anyway. That became the pattern. Priya's life was documented, celebrated, funded. Mine was acknowledged with a pat on the head and a reminder to be grateful for what I had. When Priya was in high school, my mother attended every single one of her events, dance recitals, academic award ceremonies, even parent-teacher conferences that didn't require attendance. My mother was there, front row, camera ready. When I made the honor roll every semester from 6th grade through high school, my mother would say, "That's wonderful, Beta," and put the certificate in a drawer. When I competed in the state science fair and won 2nd place, my mother didn't come. She was helping Priya shop for prom dresses. Christmas was the same story. Priya would get expensive gifts. Designer clothes, the latest phone, a laptop, jewelry. I would get practical for things, socks, school supplies, a winter coat I needed anyway. When I asked my father once why the gifts were so different, he looked uncomfortable and said, "Your mother has her reasons. Don't make trouble." I learned early, don't make trouble. Don't ask for too much. Don't expect to be treated the same. Just be grateful you're included at all. College planning was when the inequality became impossible to ignore. Priya graduated high school in 2008 and was accepted to a prestigious private university. Tuition was $45,000 a year. My parents paid every penny. Room, board, books, spending money, everything. Priya dropped out after 2 years. She said the program wasn't right for her. She transferred to a state school to study communications. It took her 6 years to graduate. Total parental investment in Priya's education, approximately $120,000. When I graduated high school in 2013, I told my parents I wanted to go to a 4-year university. My mother said, "That's expensive, Maya. We can't afford it right now." "You afforded it for Priya. Priya was different. She needed a certain kind of school." "And I don't?" My father cut in. "Maya, your mother and I think community college is a better option for you. It's practical. You're good at practical things." I was 17 years old, and I'd just been told I wasn't worth the same investment as my sister. I went to community college. I enrolled in a nursing program. I worked part-time as a hospital aide, making $12 an hour and coming home exhausted. I paid my own tuition. I bought my own books. I drove my mother's old car that barely started in the winter. I graduated with my RN license in 2015. I was 20 years old. I got a job at a hospital in Newark, working in the ICU. The hours were brutal. Night shifts, double shifts, emergency rotations. I saw things that still wake me up sometimes, but I was good at it, and it paid $52,000 a year. I moved out at 21. A studio apartment in a not great neighborhood, but it was mine. I paid my own rent, my own bills, my own car insurance. Nobody helped me, nobody offered. Meanwhile, Priya graduated college in 2012 at age 22. She moved back home. She couldn't find a job. My mother's response, "She just needs time to find the right opportunity." Priya started a lifestyle blog. She posted photos of her outfits, her coffee, her thoughts on wellness and positivity. She made maybe $200 a month from it, if that. My parents supported her completely. Free rent, free food, free car, free phone. They gave her $500 to $1,000 a month for business expenses. When I asked Mother why Priya got so much support, and I'd gotten none, she said, "Priya is building a brand. You have a job. You don't need help." I needed help when I was 18 and paying for college myself. You turned out fine. In 2016, Priya rebranded herself as a social media consultant. As far as I could tell, this meant she occasionally posted on Instagram and charged people $50 to give them advice on their own posts. She was 26 years old and still living at home, still being fully supported by our parents. I was 21 and working 60-hour weeks in an ICU, but I was the one who didn't need help. By 2019, I'd been promoted to senior ICU nurse. My salary went up to $68,000. I was saving money, building credit, planning for the future. In 2020, during COVID, I was on the front lines. I worked emergency rotations, wearing full PPE for 12-hour shifts, watching people die alone because their families couldn't be with them. I held iPads so patients could say goodbye to their loved ones. I cried in hospital bathrooms and went back to work. During that same time, Priya was at home posting Instagram stories about self-care Sundays and finding peace in the chaos. My mother called me once during the height of the pandemic. "Maya, how are you?" "Exhausted. We lost 4 patients yesterday." "Oh, that's terrible. Listen, Priya is really stressed about the pandemic. Can you talk to her?" "She's worried." I hung up. In late 2020, I bought a condo in Boston. I'd been promoted again and transferred to a hospital there. The condo was small, 1 bedroom, but it was in a good neighborhood and it was mine. I put down 10% on a $230,000 purchase. Money I'd saved myself. I called my parents to tell them. My father answered, "Dad, I bought a place." "That's wonderful, Beta. Congratulations." "Thanks. I'm really proud of this. You should be." My mother got on the line. "That's nice, Maya. When are you coming home to visit?" "Priya misses you." "Not I'm proud of you. Not tell me about it. Just when are you coming home?" In February 2021, I got engaged. His name was Sam. He was a software engineer, kind and funny and supportive. We'd been dating for 2 years. He proposed on a weekend trip to Vermont. I called my parents that night. "Mom, Dad, I'm engaged," my mother's response. "Oh, that's wonderful. When is Priya going to find someone?" I waited for her to say more. To ask about Sam, about the proposal, about the wedding plans. She didn't. My father said, "Congratulations, Maya, we're happy for you." My mother said, "I need to go. I'm helping Priya with something. We'll talk later." There was no engagement party. My mother said she was too busy. 3 months later, Priya started dating someone. 3 months after that, she got engaged. My mother threw an engagement party with 100 guests. She rented a venue. She hired caterers. She spent $8,000 on a party to celebrate my sister's 3-month relationship. I wasn't asked to help plan it. I was barely consulted. At the party, my mother gave a speech, 20 minutes about Priya. How beautiful she was, how happy she was, how excited my mother was for the wedding. At the very end, she added, "And of course, Maya is also engaged. We're so happy for both our daughters." 30 seconds. After 20 minutes about Priya, I broke off my engagement in August 2021. It had nothing to do with my family. Sam and I had grown apart. It was mutual, amicable, sad but right. I called my parents to tell them. My mother's response, "Well, at least Priya's wedding is still on track." Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Do you need anything?" Not, "I'm sorry." Just relief that my failed engagement wouldn't overshadow Priya's wedding. I started therapy in September 2021. I sat in that therapist's office and told her everything. The birthday parties, the college funding, the engagement party, the forgotten moments, the dismissed achievements, the constant feeling of being second. My therapist asked me a question that changed everything. "Maya, when was the last time your mother saw you? Actually saw you as your own person, not as Priya's sister or a supporting character in Priya's story?" I thought about it. I couldn't remember a single time. "That's not normal," she said gently, "and it's not your fault." I cried for an hour. Priya's wedding was set for August 2022. My mother was planning an elaborate affair. Destination wedding at a beach resort, 200 guests, week-long celebration. She expected me to be a bridesmaid, expected me to help pay for things, expected me to show up smiling. In June 2020, I'm planning a family vacation before the wedding. 1 week at a beautiful resort in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. July 15th through 22nd, just the 4 of us. Quality family time before things get crazy with the wedding. Okay, let me request the time off from work. Perfect. I'll take care of all the booking. 2 weeks later, I got a call. "Maya, I need a small favor." "What's that?" "The resort needs a credit card to hold the reservation. My card is maxed out from wedding expenses. Can I use yours?" "Just to hold it. I'll pay you back before the charge goes through." I hesitated. "How much is the hold?" "I'm not sure. Maybe a few $100s. Don't worry, I'll transfer you the money before it actually charges." I gave her my credit card information. The charge came through 3 days later for $800. I texted my mother. "Mom, the resort charged $4,800 to my card." She texted back, "Don't worry, I'll Venmo you before checkout." I waited for the Venmo. It never came. A week before the vacation, I texted again. "Mom, you still haven't sent the money for the resort." "I will, Beta. Don't worry. We'll settle everything on the trip." July 15th, 2022. Friday. I left Boston at 11 a.m. and drove 4 hours to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. The Tides Resort was exactly the kind of place my mother loved. Luxury oceanfront property, pristine beach access, Instagram-worthy at every angle. I arrived at 3 p.m. My parents and Priya were already there. They'd checked in at noon. I walked into the lobby with my suitcase, excited despite everything. A week at the beach with my family. Maybe it would be good. Maybe we'd actually connect. I saw them at the front desk. My mother was talking to the clerk about restaurant reservations. Priya was on her phone. My father was standing off to the side, looking at a brochure. "Hi, I'm here." My mother barely glanced at me. "Oh, good. Go check in. We're in rooms 412 and 515. I walked to the desk. "Hi, checking in for Patel." The clerk smiled. "First name Maya Patel." She typed, then frowned. I'm sorry, I don't see a reservation under that name. It should be under the family reservation, Patel family. She typed again. I have 2 rooms reserved under Patel. A 2-bedroom oceanfront suite under Kavita Patel and a single king under Priya Patel. That's all I'm showing. I looked at my mother. Mom, she says there's no room under my name. My mother didn't look up from her phone. Oh, I must have forgotten to book you a room. The words hung in the air. Forgotten. To book me. A room. You forgot to book me a room. There's probably a couch in Priya's room. Or the suite has a pull-out sofa. Priya looked up from her phone. My room has 1 king bed, no couch. I looked at my mother. And the suite? Your father and I are in the suite. The pull-out is in the living area, so I'm sleeping on a couch. My mother sighed like I was being difficult. Maya, don't be dramatic. It's just sleeping arrangements. Priya set her phone down. Honestly, maybe it's a sign. Maybe you shouldn't have come anyway. I stared at her. What? You're always so busy with your nursing job, working all those hours. This vacation is for family, for successful people who actually have time to relax and enjoy life. You being here is kind of extra. The word hung in the air. Extra. My mother said nothing. My father shifted uncomfortably. Priya, that's not. My mother cut him off. She has a point, Rajesh. Maya, if you're not comfortable with the sleeping arrangements, maybe it's better if you head back. We can celebrate together when you have more time. I stood there in that lobby, suitcase in my hand, looking at my mother, who'd forgotten to book me a room on a vacation I'd paid for, looking at my sister who'd just called me a failure to my face, looking at my father who wouldn't defend me, and something inside me broke, not shattered, just released, like a rope I'd been holding for 27 years finally slipped from my hands. I smiled, calm, clear, done. You know what? You're absolutely right. My mother blinked. What? I am busy. I do work a lot. This vacation is for successful people who have time to relax. And you should all enjoy it. Without me. Smile faltered. So, you're leaving? Yes. I'm leaving. My mother's voice sharpened. Maya, don't be childish. I'm being practical. You forgot to book me a room. Clearly, I wasn't a priority in your planning. So I'm removing myself from a situation where I'm not wanted. I turned toward the door. My father took a step forward. Maya, wait. I looked at him. Dad, enjoy the beach. I'll talk to you later. I walked out of that lobby, got in my car, and drove away. It was 3:47 p.m. I drove in silence for 15 minutes. No music, no podcast, just the sound of the highway and my own breathing. I pulled into a rest stop, sat in my car, and cried. Not because I was sad, not because I was hurt, because I was free. I called my best friend, Anika. Maya, what's wrong? I just walked out of a family vacation. What happened? I told her everything. The forgotten room, Priya's comment, my mother's dismissal. Good, Anika said firmly. Come to my place. We're having wine and terrible reality TV. I'm going home. I need to think. You sure? Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. I got back on the highway. 1 hour into the drive, my phone started ringing. Mother, I declined the call. Priya. Declined. Father, I answered. Maya, where are you? Driving home. Your mother is very upset. I'm sure she is. Can you come back? We'll figure out the room situation. No, Dad. Maya, I'm done with what? Done being forgotten, done being erased, done being the daughter who doesn't matter unless you need something from me. Silence. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I know you are, but sorry doesn't change 27 years of this. I hung up. I got home to Boston at 5:30 p.m. I sat on my couch in my condo that I bought with my own money, in the city where I'd built my own life, and I thought about the $4,800 charge on my credit card, the vacation my mother had booked, the rooms she'd planned, the reservation she'd somehow forgotten to include me in, the charge that had hit my card 2 weeks ago. I pulled up the resort's website. I found the cancellation policy. Free cancellation up to 48 hours before check-in. After check-in, no refunds. They were already checked in. But I was the card holder. I called the resort. Good evening, the Tides Resort. How may I help you? Hi, I need to speak to someone about a reservation. Of course. Confirmation number? I gave it. How can I help you with this reservation, Miss Patel? I'm the credit card holder for this reservation. I need to cancel it and dispute the charge. I'm sorry, ma'am, but the guests have already checked in. I understand, but I'm the card holder and I did not authorize this charge. I was told it was a hold that would be reimbursed. That didn't happen. I'm disputing the entire amount. Let me get my manager. A new voice came on the line. Miss Patel, this is David Chen, the hotel manager. I understand you'd like to dispute a charge? Yes, I did not authorize this stay. I want the charge removed from my card. Ma'am, if you dispute this charge, we'll need to ask the guests currently in the rooms to provide alternative payment or vacate. I understand. Are you certain? This is a family reservation. I'm certain. Cancel everything tied to my credit card. They can rebook on their own payment method if they'd like to stay. There was a pause. This will take effect immediately. Perfect, thank you. I hung up. It was 6:02 p.m. I turned off my phone. I ran a bath. I ordered Thai food. I watched 3 episodes of a show I'd been meaning to catch up on. At 10 p.m., I turned my phone back on. 1 missed call. 3 missed calls. 12 missed calls. By the time the notification stopped loading, I had 47 missed calls and 29 text messages. Mother, call me now, Priya. What did you do? Father, Maya, the hotel is asking us to leave. Please call. Mother, this is unacceptable. Call me immediately. Priya, you're so petty. Grow up. Father, please, Maya. Your mother is having a breakdown. I read them all. Then I turned the phone back off and I went to sleep. Saturday morning, I woke up at 9 a.m. I made coffee. I sat on my couch in the sunlight. I turned my phone back on. 63 missed calls now, 34 text messages, 3 voicemails. Voicemail 1 from my mother, time-stamped 6:30 p.m. Friday. Maya, call me immediately. There's been some kind of mistake with the hotel. They're saying you canceled the reservation. This has to be an error. Call me. Voicemail 2 from my mother, time-stamped 7:15 p.m. Friday. Maya, this isn't funny. The hotel, you disputed the charge. What is wrong with you? Call me now. Voicemail Fias 3 from my father, time-stamped 8 p.m. Friday. Maya, please. Your mother is beside herself. We're at a Holiday Inn now. Can we please talk about this? I deleted all 3 voicemails. I texted my father. Only my father. I'm fine. Not discussing this with Mom or Priya. If you want to talk, call me. Alone. 10 minutes later, he called. Maya, hi, Dad. What happened? I canceled a charge on my credit card that I didn't authorize. Your mother said she had your permission to use the card. She said it was a hold, that she'd pay me back before it charged. She lied. The $4,800 charge 2 weeks ago. She never mentioned it again. Silence. She was going to pay you back. When? The charge already went through. And here's the thing, Dad. Even if she was planning to pay me back, she forgot to book me a room. So I paid $4,800 for a vacation I wasn't even included in. More silence. What do you want me to say? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. I'm done. Done with what? Done being the daughter you forget exists. Done being less important than Priya. Done funding things I'm not included in and being expected to be grateful. That's not fair. Isn't it? When's the last time Mom visited me in Boston? When's the last time you asked about my life without comparing it to Priya's? When's the last time I wasn't an afterthought? He didn't answer. We're at a Holiday Inn, he said finally. We had to pay cash for 2 rooms. Your mother had to use her emergency credit card. That's unfortunate. The vacation is ruined. My vacation was ruined when she forgot to book me a room on a trip I paid for. She made a mistake. No, Dad. She made a choice, and I made mine. What choice? To stop participating in a family that doesn't see me. I hung up. An hour later, my mother texted from a different number. I cannot believe you would embarrass your family like this. We had to scramble to find another hotel. Do you know how humiliating that was? The resort manager asked if we were trying to scam them. Your sister's wedding is in 6 weeks, and now she's devastated because her vacation is ruined. Is this what you wanted? To destroy everything? I read it twice. Then I responded, "You forgot to book me a room on a vacation I paid for. I didn't destroy anything. I removed myself from a situation where I wasn't wanted. If you'd wanted me there, you would have planned for me to be there." She replied immediately, "You were wanted. I was going to figure out the room situation when you arrived." After I drove 4 hours, after Priya called me a failure, after you suggested I leave, I took your advice, I left. You're being selfish. Family supports each other. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I typed, "You're right. Family should support each other. They should see each other, value each other, include each other." You didn't do any of those things. I'm not being selfish. I'm protecting myself from people who've made it clear I don't matter. I blocked her number. The next day, Priya called from a different number. I answered by accident. "You're a petty bitch. Hi, Priya. You ruined our vacation because your feelings were hurt." I removed funding from a vacation I wasn't included in. That's not the same thing. Mom was going to pay you back. When? With what money? The money she gives you every month? The money she's spending on your wedding? That's different. It's not. I work 50-hour weeks, saving lives in an ICU. I bought my own home. I pay my own bills. You're 32 years old, living with our parents and calling me a failure. The math doesn't work, Priya. At least I have a family who loves me. You have a family who enables you. There's a difference. And for the record, I had a family who loved me too. Right up until they made it clear that love was conditional on me, staying small and funding their lifestyle. You're going to regret this. I really don't think I will. I hung up and blocked that number too. 3 days later, my father called again. "Can we have coffee? Just you and me." We met at a cafe halfway between Boston and their house in New Jersey. He looked tired. "Your mother wants you at Priya's wedding." "I'm not going." "Maya, it's your sister's wedding." My sister called me a failure in a hotel lobby and didn't defend me when Mom erased me from a vacation I paid for. Why would I go to her wedding? Because she's family. Family is supposed to treat each other better than that. He rubbed his face. "What do you want from us?" "I want you to see me, actually see me. Not as Priya's younger sister, not as the practical one who doesn't need anything. As your daughter who worked her entire life to earn your approval and never got it." "We do see you. Then why did Mom forget to book me a room?" He looked away. "Be honest with me, Dad. Was it really an accident?" Silence. "She thought you'd be fine with it," he said quietly. "She said you're flexible, that you wouldn't mind." "And Priya?" "Priya wanted the vacation to be just the three of us. She said it would be more relaxing without you there." There it was, the truth. My mother hadn't forgotten. She'd chosen. She'd chosen Priya's comfort over my presence. "Thank you for being honest. I love you, Maya. I know. But love without respect isn't enough." I didn't go to Priya's wedding in August 2022. My mother sent one final text. "If you don't come to your sister's wedding, don't bother calling yourself my daughter anymore." I replied, "I stopped being your daughter the moment you chose her over me for the 1,000th time. Enjoy the wedding." My father called, crying, "Please come, for me." "I can't, Dad. Every time I show up to family events, I'm reminded that I don't matter. I'm done doing that to myself. Will I see you again? I don't know, maybe. But not like this, not where I'm decoration for Priya's life." Over the next 6 months, I didn't speak to my mother or Priya at all. My father called once a month. Sometimes I answered, sometimes I didn't. Slowly, we started rebuilding, just the two of us. Lunch once a month in a town between Boston and New Jersey. He didn't tell my mother. I should have said something. He told me over coffee in March 2023. "Your mother always favored Priya. I knew it. I saw it. I should have spoken up." "Yes, you should have." "I'm sorry. I know. Can you forgive me?" "I thought about it. I'm working on it. But Dad, you chose your marriage over your daughter for 27 years. That's not something I can just forgive over coffee." "I understand, but I'm willing to try with you. Just you." He nodded. We kept meeting. Once a month became twice a month. He started really asking about my life, my job, my friends, my apartment. In September 2023, he visited my condo. "You've done well for yourself," he said, looking around. "I had to. No one was going to do it for me. I'm sorry I didn't help you more. I'm sorry you had to choose between your wife and your daughter. I chose both. I just see you separately now." It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Priya's marriage lasted 14 months. She got divorced in November 2023. They moved back in with our parents. Still no job. Still on their payroll. My father told me this over lunch. "How do you feel about that?" he asked. "I don't feel anything. Her life isn't my problem anymore. Your mother is having a hard time with it. I'm sure she is. She asks about you sometimes." "What does she ask?" "If you're okay, if you'll ever talk to her again." "What do you tell her?" "That you're thriving, and that she burned a bridge she can't rebuild." In 2024, I was promoted to nurse manager. My salary went up to $95,000. I was managing a team of 30 nurses, overseeing ICU operations, making decisions that saved lives. I started dating someone new, Alex, a teacher, kind, emotionally available, nothing like my family. December 2024, my mother called from a number I didn't have blocked. I answered by accident. "Maya, it's Mom. I know. I think we should talk. It's been over 2 years. Okay. Talk. I want you to apologize." I actually laughed. "For what?" "For abandoning the family, for missing your sister's wedding, for embarrassing us at that resort." No, I'm not apologizing. You forgot to book me a room on a vacation I paid for. You let Priya call me a failure and suggested I leave when I called you on it. I did what you asked. I left. I didn't want you to cancel the whole vacation. You wanted my money, not my presence. There's a difference. That's not true. Then why didn't you book me a room, Mom? Silence. You had weeks to plan that trip. You booked a suite for you and Dad, a room for Priya, but you forgot me. You didn't forget. You chose not to include me because Priya didn't want me there. Be honest for once in your life. More silence. "I thought you'd understand," she said finally. "Understand what? That I'm not as important as Priya? I understood that when I was 7. I just finally decided to stop accepting it. So you're never coming back? I don't know. Maybe someday. But not until you can look me in the eye and admit that you treated me like I didn't matter my entire life. And I don't think you can do that. You're my daughter. No, I'm the person you gave birth to. Being a mother takes more than biology. It takes seeing your child, valuing them, making space for them. You never did that for me. That's not fair." "It's accurate. Goodbye, Mom." I hung up. I blocked the number and I felt peace. It's 2025 now. I'm 30 years old. I live in my paid-off condo in Boston. I have a career I love, a partner who sees me, friends who value me. I see my father every 6 weeks. We have lunch. We talk. Sometimes it's awkward. Sometimes it's good. We're building something new. I haven't spoken to my mother or Priya in 3 years. I don't miss them. Last week, Alex and I were making dinner. My father texted. "Lunch next Tuesday," I replied. "Yes, 1:00 p.m.? Perfect. Love you, Beta. Love you too, Dad." Alex looked over. "Your dad?" "Yeah, lunch next week. That's good." "How's it going with him?" "Better. It took him 30 years, but he finally sees me. Really sees me." "And your mom?" "Haven't talked to her since she asked me to apologize for ruining the vacation I paid for." "You going to talk to her?" "No." "Apologize?" "Absolutely not." Alex smiled. "Good. We ate dinner on my couch, in my home. In the life I built entirely by myself. And I realized something. I spent 27 years trying to earn a place in my family, trying to be good enough, successful enough, quiet enough, accommodating enough to matter. And the whole time, the problem was never me. It was them. They couldn't see me because they didn't want to. So I left, and I built a life where I'm seen every single day by people who actually value me. If you're listening to this, and you've ever been the forgotten child, the overlooked sibling, the one who funded family events you weren't really included in, I want you to know something. You don't owe your presence to people who don't value it. You don't owe your money to people who erase you. You don't owe your emotional labor to a family that treats you like you're lucky to be there. Walking away is hard, it's painful, it feels like failure. But sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do. 3 years ago, my mother forgot to book me a room. I smiled, said enjoy, and left. They called nonstop because I canceled the vacation I'd paid for. They wanted my money, not my presence, so I gave them neither. And I've never been happier. Have you ever been forgotten by your own family? Been called a failure by someone who's done less than you? Paid for something you weren't even included in? Drop a comment. Tell me your story, because I know I'm not the only one. If this resonated, hit subscribe and check the description for another story about choosing yourself over family obligation. Thank you for being here. My name is Maya Patel. I'm a nurse manager, and I will never apologize for walking away from people who forgot I existed.